Hey, and
Hey Les, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Look at you. You purposely put on colors similar to mine.
Oh, I did not. I did not.
All right. Well,
Just seems that way.
coincidence, just coincidence.
Coincidence. It's a coinkadink.
There you go. Well, welcome to another episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. So, this is what's up. Leslie has a problem. She's got a problem, and we talked about it like at the end of one of our podcast recordings, and we decided that we weren't finished talking about it. So
Mm-mm.
you're gonna hear that piece of the conversation, and then you're gonna hear the rest of our all of our considerations around this topic.
Okay, here goes. It's December.
It is.
I have to bring up a pet peeve. Actually, it's way more than a pet peeve.
Okay, Les. Are you keeping track of the time? Do we have time to go
I'm
into this?
keeping
Because
track
this
of the
gets
time.
really okay.
And it's a brief thing. I'm not going to get into it. It'll
Yeah, but
probably
but
come
I
up
might want
again.
to get into it. Go ahead. I'll try to contain myself. Go ahead.
I would like to skip over the month of December.
You're such a Scrooge.
Exactly. And it's
Oh my
becoming
gosh.
more and more serious as I think about it. I used to say, "Oh, I'm just a Scrooge. I'm just a Scrooge." But
Right.
now I really dislike the holiday season.
Wow. That's
Seeing the lights up annoys me.
really.
Listening to holiday music
Yes.
at work today, it was like, oh, it's
No.
so
See, I'm not
annoying.
with you all the time to know this that it has gotten this bad. What?
It's getting worse actually. And I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
something I need to talk to somebody about.
I think
But
that
I'll
needs a
tell
little
you
inquiry.
why.
I
I'll
think
tell
that
you
needs some
why.
inquiry.
You talked about money. I think that it's the embodiment of the hypocritical society that I exist in
I see.
to
Okay.
say that we are celebrating Christmas
Right.
and religious holidays
Right.
and Hanukkah
Right.
and Kwanzaa, which is not a religious holiday, but a
Right.
gift giving season,
Right.
when it's just a doggone money grab. I almost cursed just now. It's just a money grab. And to veil it in tradition and family and religiosity and the birth of Christ and baby Jesus. And it's such a crock of lies instead of just saying, this is the season that we want you all to empty your doggone pockets, go broke for 6 months, put it on cards, put it on layaway, make guilt you into getting gifts that people don't want or need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the spirit of the birth of Christ.
Right.
Just say that we want your money and December is the month to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get
So whenever I listen, I hear the music, when I see the lights, and just I'm bombarded with I can't go into a store or a supermarket or a store, because it's like this and every email is, oh, Black Friday, and oh, Giving Thursday, and oh, Cyber Monday, and small store Saturday. And
okay? Can I give you
all right,
some?
shall I stop now? I'm
Well,
so miserable
your
these
point,
days.
your point was made clear. Let me give you another perspective, Les.
Okay, please help me with this because
And
I
I'm gonna,
can't really
I
see it
won't.
any other way.
Okay, I won't go into it too deeply, and I'm gonna try to connect it back to what you were talking about before, even though you were pretending that it wasn't related.
But people are like
I see.
suffering. This is
Hold
a
on,
sad
hold
time for
on,
people, a
hold
broke
on.
time for
You
people.
already said you were done.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Let me
listen,
step off my
listen.
soapbox. Okay, go
So
ahead.
it's interesting because it is, it's kind of like a yes and. I'm not going to disagree that that is not what a lot of what Christmas is, but it is so much more. And so you kind of lumping, I want December to go away, and that
Hmm.
kind of, and I'm going to walk through, and when I see lights, I'm going to, it doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. And hear me out.
Okay.
And the fact that there are a lot of different ways that people exchange gifts. People don't always go out and buy to exchange gifts. They make things for their family. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of making of
Hmm.
gifts because I'm so gifted. I'm, so, and some people do celebrate the birth of Christ. It is about the reason for the season. It is about praying for peace on earth and the remembrance of who He is in our lives. And
But
so
don't
to
we do
kind
that
of,
all the time?
but Les,
We
yeah,
don't wait till December to do that.
but hold on. You don't celebrate He is risen on any day but Easter. What do you mean?
Oh, okay,
I'm just
okay.
saying there are times, there are rituals, there are times when we celebrate certain things, birthdays or whatever.
Right, but
But
society that I live in
yeah,
and the
where do I
circles,
live? Do I live in a different
you're in
society?
another world because you're not seeing what I'm seeing.
Wait,
You're not hearing what I'm hearing.
are you in the world where many people would do what you did, or are you in the world? Because your world seemed to be different. Which world are
Oh,
you
you mean
in?
I'm in a different world?
Yeah, you
You're
seem
in
to
a
be,
different world.
one foot is in the world where people would do what you did, say that I hit the car, pay for it, not a problem, Zell. One foot is in that world, and the other foot is in the I hate Christmas, throw it all away. This is all bullshit. Like, where are you? Who are you? Who the hell are
Well,
you? I want to
no,
know.
because
Who are you?
the reason that I can't appreciate the Christmas season is because it's really a commercial industry.
Yeah, I get that, but Les, you don't have to let that be that way for you. You don't have to let
It
those
isn't
things
for
ruin.
me because
I
it isn't
know,
for me because
but
I don't buy gifts and do all of that
I
stuff.
get it,
But
but
it's surrounding me.
you are allowing those things to completely remove the joy that you might have for the season where we celebrate the
Because
birth
I'm
of
surrounded
Christ.
by liars, people saying that it's that their heart is in one place when it's
Okay,
really in
here,
another.
first of all, you don't know people's intentions, so don't say that.
I
You don't know
know
people's
Macy's
intentions.
and
Yeah, fine.
Kohl's.
Fine, fine. But you don't know people's intentions. Some
I
people's
know.
intention, as
Yeah.
an entrepreneur myself, some people's intentions is I want to create this thing so that people can change their lives by doing this. And it's not about I don't care who buys it. I don't care. Some people are doing it because they want to help other people with their gifts, with their
But
talents,
only
with
in
their
December. I give gifts
Les.
all year
What
long.
are you talking about? It's not only in December, but if that's the time when people are exchanging gifts and you're selling something, well, what's there's like I don't think you have to be all one way or all the other way. I think there's a
Mm.
middle that you're just not willing to see. You're like going back down into the depths. You would not like have this be a special time where you um a particular time because in the way that you and I were raised, regardless of when the actual date of his birth is, we were raised with December being the time that we celebrate the birth of Christ. So it is a point on the calendar. Why would you be willing to throw all of that away because of of the parts that you don't like? You can do both. You can not like a part of it and embrace a part of it. I'm worried. I'm worried.
I'll think about it.
I'm really
I'll think
worried.
about it. But I guess I'm just so deep in it, deep
I'm
in my
worried.
dislike of it that
I am so worried because when
I
we
don't
were
know if I
out,
can turn around about
when I was
this.
in New York couple weeks ago, and we went to dinner, and there were some beautiful lights. And you were like, "Ah, I hate it. Oh, look at them." you,
I'm
you were
telling you,
so
I got a tick now. It's like the lights
you were
bother
so
me, the
mad.
music bothers
You were
me.
so
They were
mad.
at one of my sites I cover, and they're like, "Oh, we're doing Secret Santa. You want to sign up?" No, I don't do that.
Let me tell you
I
something
said,
that
"No, I don't
happened.
do that."
Let me tell you something that happened today, and this
All
is
right,
another
tell
circle
me.
back, right? So I was telling you about Isaiah, right? So I don't know why Isaiah always FaceTimes me now. He never just calls. It's
Hmm.
always a FaceTime. Occasionally he'll text. Okay,
Yeah,
it's always FaceTime. Anyway, he FaceTimes me.
he wants to see his mama.
I'm happy about it, very happy, except I can't always take another call, you know.
Hmm.
Anyway, so Mom, what is that um Christmas song that you'd always play when I was growing up? And I was like, which one? Can you give me a hint? He was like, I don't know the name of it, but you used to play it a lot. And I know one of the Christmas CDs that I would play a lot was Vanessa Williams's Christmas
Hmm.
CD. Love it, love the songs, whatever. But you know, Isaiah's 5 years younger than Johnny, so I don't know whether it's something kind of Johnny has heard more.
Right, right.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I told him the name of the album, and I sang one of the songs that I actually remembered hearing in Isaiah's voice. Um, and he said, "Oh, that doesn't sound like it." So I told him the name of it. He sends me a voice message back and said, "Mom, that's it." And I remember that every Christmas. I remember that when I was growing up, and it was so good to hear it again.
Oh, that's nice.
That was the song, and that's why my parents always played Christmas music. The song that my mom used to sing so much, and I associate it with her every time I hear it. And it was a song that was I was able to get a response from her even when she was almost um, when she was dying of dementia. I would be able to sing
Oh, that's a
"Oh
nice
Holy Night"
memory.
to her, and she
Yeah.
would respond. That's how I knew that she could
Hmm.
hear us.
Yeah.
So these traditions are not all about, you
Hmm.
know, all of that stuff that you mentioned. It's not that it's not true, but it's not only that for people.
It's I get it because I have great memories of these holiday traditions.
Yeah.
I just feel, yeah, I don't know how
I think you
the
should find a way
current
back.
situation has overshadowed that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why.
Find a way back to the center.
But
Not you
it's
don't have to go all the way here, but come on back. Come on back a little
yeah.
bit.
I
Just
used to joke about it, but it's pretty serious
yeah,
now.
I know. I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell. Ooh.
Anyway, I
Mm.
guess we'll continue this, but we gotta close.
Merry Christmas. No, I'm
Yeah.
sleigh bells ring.
Bah humbug. You're a mean one. Grinch.
Oh, you know those, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks
Oh,
for
this is
hanging
fun.
with us. So you asked me to think about it, right? You asked me to give it a little
I
bit more
did.
thought. Why are
I
you
did.
laughing? Because you already know what I'm about to say.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to it. That's all.
Okay. Sadly, I'm still the Scrooge. I'm still the
Les,
Grinch.
I had so much confidence in you.
Not only am I still the Scrooge Grinch, but I'm
The
doubling
Scrinch.
down on it.
You're
I'm
the,
the Scrinch. Leslie the Scrinch. I'm doubling down on it. Yeah.
I don't understand. Here's what I'd hoped. Here's what I'd hoped.
Okay.
Um, and really all jokes aside for just 2 minutes,
I
and
was going
then
to
the
say, we
jokes could
can't
come
always put
tumbling
all jokes
by.
aside.
So, Les, when I saw your face as you started talking about it, like your whole countenance changed. It's not just what you were saying,
Hmm.
like it showed up in your whole body. And so
Yeah, I wasn't kidding.
I know you're not kidding, but like you're really upset, and I'll hear what you have considered and why you still feel that way before I say anything about maybe doing an intervention.
Okay, couple things. First of all, was Ebenezer Scrooge a real guy?
I don't-
The
he was
reason I
probably
ask,
he was
I don't
probably.
even remember the show very much. It was a
I think it was
television show,
based
right?
on. He might have been based on
I think
a character, but
I think he's a character written by one of the famous writers, but we can put that in our episode notes. But anyway,
yeah, it's the guy who did Ebenezer. I mean Oliver Twist, and
I
I
think so,
can't
right?
recall. Yeah, I
So
think so.
anyway, so the more I thought about it, based on our conversation, our prior conversation, you know, I I was watching a show recently, and the character was reacting to a guy that was always mean, and she
Mm.
said, "Who hurt you?"
I'm laughing at someone getting hurt. No, I. That's,
So when you said like, Les, you're really serious about it, and I am, but
yeah.
I don't think that it's because I was hurt by anything around Christmas. But I think it came out because our family ritual
Hmm.
got spread out and diluted. And I
Okay.
think that's what happened with,
Okay.
when Nana Ruby was around,
Hmm.
she was the keeper of the holidays and the
Right.
celebrations,
Right. Hmm.
and every single person in the family's birthday, we all had to make time and gather to enjoy
Right.
the cake that she made.
Okay.
Even if it was for an hour, it
Right.
was known that on every birthday, everyone got together. And
Right.
every Thanksgiving and the holiday, we did it for Nana. And I think a lot of those celebrations, we changed from outward celebrations to like
Hmm.
more inward and low key. And then we all spread out a little bit more or got too
Right.
busy or something like that.
Right.
So,
Right.
and certainly as the children grew up and became
Hmm.
adults, we really kind of stopped the ritual of the Christmas and the tree and the lights. And then
Right.
more recently, in my own home, I seemed to be the only one that was carrying the tradition. I
I
was the
see.
one that would go in the basement and get all the lights and the decorations and decorate the house and all of
Right.
this.
Right.
And as lovely as it is, or looked or was, then I was the only one that was taking the stuff down and putting it, you
Right.
know what I mean? It
Yeah.
became
Yeah.
Leslie's chore.
Right.
So I kind of think the joyful wonder of the season
Hmm.
um became a little bit more diminished and then overshadowed by what I thought was the shameful commercialism of it all.
Okay. But it looks like when you think about what Nana Ruby had created in the traditions was something that you enjoyed, right? Even though.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you prompted me to remember that because I hadn't
Hmm.
thought about the those traditions, our family traditions for a
Hmm.
while, and the
Hmm.
joy and the warmth and the smells of the home and things like
Right.
that. I really
Right.
hadn't thought about that. So thank you for
Right.
pushing me to go there.
Yeah.
Um, perhaps I could see recreating some other type of family loving ritual, not necessarily
Hmm.
like it was before, but
Right.
just to bring a little bit more of that into the season.
Right.
I mean,
Be-
that's an idea.
because that's what rituals, when they're at their best, that's what they do. They ask us to put the world and the kind of hecticness nature of
Mm.
some of our lives and put that aside for this special thing. And it's a time of, it's almost like mini reunions a few times out of the year, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it's kind of like that's the beautiful thing about rituals. And then when they're gone, you I really miss them. We didn't have a whole lot of rituals in our family, to be honest. We did um, get together. Easter was a thing, and when we were younger, we would do the eggs and stuff because I was really
Mhm.
into anything having to do with paint and color, and trying new things. And
Oh
then
man.
as
I remember Nana Ruby's baskets. She made one for like each of us. It was just so great.
yeah, and when I was really very active as a leader in our church, especially with the children's ministry, um, I would do Easter, but really focused um, on Christ and his journey
Mhm.
versus the Easter Bunny and things like that. So I guess what I'm saying is that these rituals have a purpose. It's kind of this connective tissue, and I feel really sad that not only are they gone, because that wouldn't even be neutral that they're gone,
Mhm.
um, but now they've become this bah humbug for you, which is
Mhm.
completely like it's deep into the negative. It's not
Yeah.
even like surface around -5. It sounds like
Mhm.
it's like -100. And so I think that there is more to it. I think there's more of what's going on. I don't know if it's that you were the only one doing the stuff because your home looked beautiful when it was decorated for
Mhm.
the holidays. And I get it that it's hard to be the one. I would make the kids do it, even when it was no longer kind of this really fun family thing. It's like, okay,
Go get the tree.
it's time to put up the tree. And things were pretty well organized in our attic.
Mhm.
And so I would decide, because my stuff was kind of color coordinated, because I would change the colors every Christmas or so until I had maybe 5 different color themes. And
Gonna
so
be
I
red this
remember,
year.
I remember I had a um, green and kind of brownish. I had a blue and white. I had the red and tan and all kinds of things. And so I decide which boxes to come down. But the kids
Wow.
helped me to do it and
Mhm.
to take them down. So I understand that having to do it by yourself. So
But you know what? As you were thinking,
yeah.
yeah, the chore of it can be
Mm-hmm.
daunting, but I'm not I think there's more. Okay.
Okay, let's
And
go deep.
I'm pushing myself now.
Okay,
You
good,
know,
good.
as a child, Christmas is obviously less about, for a child, I mean, the
Yeah,
religiosity and the
right.
um, spiritual part of it, and more about the
Mm-hmm.
material and the toys, which is
Right,
joyful and wonderful.
right.
As I got older,
Mm-hmm.
naturally moving from the toys,
Mm-hmm.
even as a Christian, I don't think I fully replaced the season
Okay,
from material toys to Christ's birth.
got it.
And I think
Okay.
as a result of that, I allowed the outside sources
Mm,
and the
mm-hmm.
media and the commercialism
Mm-hmm.
to replace the season instead of transitioning to an adult understanding of the
Uh,
meaning of the season.
got you.
So I
Got
really
you.
think I left that part out of my spirit
Mm,
and let
mm-hmm.
the outside commercials and stuff, as
Right.
disturbing and difficult as it was to me to think about,
Right.
because I think about some of the difficulty of the
Mm-hmm.
season
Mm-hmm.
superimposed with all the spending and this and
Mm-hmm.
that.
So like
I
people who have a lot of grief during the season, is
just
that
not
what you
just
mean?
grief, but people who are impoverished and
Mm-hmm.
with financial difficulty,
Mm,
feeling that obligation to spend in order to receive love or
right.
to, that people, I don't believe that we're able to disconnect the giving with the sentimentality of it.
Okay. Tell
Um,
me what do you mean?
I You got to give a gift lest they don't think that I love them or care for them,
Ah, I see.
or
Okay.
as the way to show your love. So you
Mm-hmm.
feel so much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I had occasion to go to the mall today because I bought some things for Aiden,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw people of all, types and whatever,
Mm-hmm.
laden with their bags and purchases. And I just,
Mm-hmm.
one of them, I think was a Old Navy bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, like, I wonder who's going to get those things. Do they really need it? You know,
Mm-hmm.
did the person overspend? Did they
Mm-hmm.
buy out of obligation,
Mm.
for the Secret Santa? Do they,
Right.
it's, are the gifts from the heart,
Right.
or are they out of obligation? You know how I am about living honestly and being
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the gift giving comes from an authentic place or
Right.
from an obligatory place,
Gotcha.
you know?
Okay. Yeah. I get that.
And if it's the former, great. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's not, and I think very, very often it's not, it's because you signed up for the Secret Santa, or
Right.
because you're going over to Auntie's house and you can't go without a gift.
Right. But even that, Les, like um even that, you signed up for the Secret Santa where you're going over to Auntie's house, so you have to have a gift. Um it's it's a beautiful thing to give a gift and to receive a gift. It's this beautiful exchange. So I think what I'm saying is that it's a yes and it's not an
Mm,
either or. Like both things can coexist in this season. One doesn't have to be, well, if you're doing that, you're doing it out of duty. That's okay. If if it is a way for you to step back for a little bit and acknowledge someone else and say, I'm doing this for you. It may be the only time in the year, there's an opportunity to get together. And even just this, just the idea of giving something to someone else, I don't see that as this thing that we should run away from. I think it's, the giving and receiving of gifts is a beautiful thing.
theoretically, it is.
No,
I
yeah.
I am trying to turn away from the obligation to do it because, as you know, and I think maybe that's where my stance comes from. As you know,
Mm-hmm.
I give all year long,
Right.
and I intentionally don't give for this
Mm-hmm.
season as my
Right.
protest,
Right.
because I am, or I try to be so giving all year long.
Right.
Um,
Right. And
I,
that's a
I,
and
pref-
that's an option.
I prefer a gift of your presence or your company. Um, you show me love not by giving me a pair of slippers, but because you're in my home eating food that I cooked specifically for you or something. You know what I mean? When you say everybody loves gifts, I don't love necessarily to receive gifts,
Well, I think maybe, okay,
because
let's
I'm
dig
a
at that.
person.
Let's dig at that.
Oh, now
Let's
we're
dig
getting
at
a little
that.
psychological.
Let's dig at that because um because I think that's a part of maybe why you feel this way. Well, it doesn't mean anything to me, and therefore, um, if it means something to you, it's only because sense of there's a sense of duty. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and if I want to give you a pair of slippers, or I want to put a cap on a gift at $25, like they do with Secret Santa, or
Hmm.
$20, whatever it is, um, then
But
I don't know.
why?
I don't
All right.
see.
But why? I don't want to keep us to keep going in circles with this, but
Yeah,
why give me the gift or show me you appreciate me in December when you can do it from January 1st to November 30th?
yeah. The
Show me
answer
that you
is
love me at that point,
the
as people do.
yes, they do. They don't only do it then. Um,
I don't
but the
even
other
want the
th
slippers. I have all the slippers I need.
I and there's another thing. It's what you have, and not. It's like you're. I'm seeing that you're thinking of this from the perspective of you, and it's your decision, obviously.
Yeah.
So it could be, but I'm just saying it doesn't mean the same thing to everyone else,
Hmm.
right? It's not like, and the reason why not the rest of the time? Um, I'm assuming that you don't mean that people are mean to you and only want to give you something in
No,
December.
no. What I'm
Right.
saying is
So
they love on me all year long, so they don't need to do
exactly.
it when the
Well,
world
December
tells them
though
they
is
need to do it.
because it's going back. It's because it's the tradition.
Yeah,
And I think traditions can be a very um, are can be a very important part of society to
I
have
agree.
certain traditions. You know
I
what I mean?
agree.
And yeah, sometimes that person, that's like the only gift they're getting is the one you're giving. I'm just
At
saying.
what point, well, I'll put a pin there because this is a little bit different what I'm going to
Yeah.
say. At what point and how do we as a society acknowledge the pain of the season? The people, the multitudes of people who don't have um, ability to give gifts or will not receive gifts,
Mm-hmm.
or there's a lot of
Yeah.
sadness associated with this season that people don't acknowledge.
Yeah, I
I
think,
think that
yeah.
it's almost, I wouldn't use the word cruel because that's way too intentional, but I can only imagine the difficulty of watching television at this season when you don't have the ability to give gifts to your children. And there's commercials and the children are making lists and things like that. As you know, I used to answer letters for at the post office for the Secret Santa,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that the children would ask for,
Yeah.
um, it's incredible, you
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
incredible. And when the children would ask for the latest gaming system, which might have been expensive or hard to get or whatever, I
Mm-hmm.
did my best to get just the things that they asked for and not substitute, just to keep
Mm-hmm.
that magic alive.
Right.
It's
Right.
like I asked for a Nintendo, but here I got
Right.
a doll instead. It's like, no,
Right.
Santa
Right.
gives you what, but
Right. Right.
but not a
Yeah.
lot of people, it's I don't know. It's
I know. I get it. I just don't want you to throw it all away because, as you know, um, even though everyone's need is not going to be met, there are a lot of people who do. I used to do the angel giving too. There are a lot of people who give to those who would otherwise not have gifts during the season. There are people who
ah,
work at shelters and things like that at this time, knowing. And
that's
so it's
true.
December, that's when they're doing it because this is where there's an increased um, need for connection for people. Um, so,
How about this?
plus,
Let's
yes,
just a thought, let's picture this.
picture this,
What
Cicely.
if we took the pressure of the concentrated month of giving, right?
Hmm.
And instead of that, the giving the turkeys and things like that. I completely agree with people giving food to people who are food insecure.
Hmm.
But if instead of saying, let's just put all of our efforts into this Christmas, December giving, and instead did it all year long.
Plus, okay, think about that, right?
Hmm.
The expectation is that, um, again, it's a tradition. The expectation is that because given is a burden too, meaning that it takes effort to take time away from family, away from, I'm saying to people who are less fortunate now,
Hmm.
take time maybe away from work. Um, so you want them to do it all year.
I'm just
I'm
I'm just
like,
saying be a giver in your life and not feel the obligation to give one time of season of the year, you know?
yeah, okay. I see it as I see it as give when you feel led to give.
Yeah. And don't
Whenever
let,
that is, and if that is around Christmas time, because again, things are kind of acute at that time, and that's when you um, get your little bonus. Maybe you have a little few extra coins to rub together, or you're baking, you can make an extra cake, or your family's in town and you can all go together to uh, the homeless shelter.
yeah, but those things that you described, they're not happenstance that you happen to have a bonus in December or you happen to be baking in December. You have these things because it's the time of giving. It's the
Right,
prescribed.
Les, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It is, it is December 25th, is it? I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is um, for Christians, that is the birth of the Savior.
Mhm.
You cannot erase that is, and as the story goes, there are three wise men who come bearing gifts.
Exactly. And
Okay,
which part of that did society snatch out and
but what I'm
adulterate?
saying is that it will
The
happen in
gift,
December.
not the birth.
It will happen in December, right? It's not going to not happen in December. Even if giving happens at other, it is also going to happen in December.
Yeah.
So that tradition is not going away. You're setting yourself up for failure if you think that all of what you're expressing around commercialism and all of that. And I
Mhm.
hope you know I don't disagree with the over commercialized and the pressure and all of that stuff. As a parent, felt it, moved on, did it differently sometimes, didn't do it differently sometimes.
Mhm.
But the December season, it's that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can focus on what's happening in your religious community. You can focus on
Right.
You know,
True.
the
True.
reason for the season, and that's okay to do it in December.
Hmm. And I'd advocate, right. Not, I guess I could, here's how I'll be persuaded
Okay.
to move.
Yeah.
To to take my mind off of rejecting the commercialism part of it, or rejecting the season because of the commercialism, and move more toward the spiritual traditions around the season.
Yeah.
And perhaps I can separate the two
Yeah.
and still have some appreciation for it.
Yeah.
I
I'd
think
love to
that's
see
what
you
I'll
do
try
that.
to
Yeah.
concentrate on, because I've really just been turning my back away from it.
Yeah. I'd love to see you do that, Les, because it's just like when people um, misuse or taint who we know Christ to be in different ways, and we resist that. We stand up for who how we experience Christ as love and inclusive and
Yeah,
you know, not in a us versus them way, and we stand in that. Stand in what that is for Christmas, you know, and don't let it become this thing that allows the commercialism to rob you of the celebration of Christ as we believe it, um, being birth of a virgin mother, and get emotional about that.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
very touching. When I remember once you and Omari came down for Christmas and New Year's. I think it was mostly New Year's, but we definitely went to church and had just a really, really beautiful, sentimental time um, with our faith being center.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to not have that because of
Mhm.
all the other stuff that's going on. And it's plenty. And it's, you know, I don't do a lot of shopping like that anymore. But the other day when I was preparing to go to New York, I did go in the store and oh my gosh, I couldn't. The line was so long. Thank
It's
goodness it
just
didn't take.
overwhelming. It's
I was
like,
in shock. I
what?
actually said, "Oh, this is what is talking about," because you go shopping, you know, like. But I hadn't really experienced that in a long time during the holiday season. If I do it, it's once in a while. I buy
Mhm.
stuff online and so on.
It's a
So I
lot.
got a taste of it, and I was like, "Oh, I see." But
Okay.
I love lights. I love the twinkly lights. I love that there's just this time of levity
Mhm.
and brightness, and you know, you look over and you see these symbols of joy and peace
All right.
when
I'll
there's so
I'll
many.
I'll try to change my perspective.
That would be
We'll
good.
we'll agree to that.
That would be great. That would be
All right.
great. I'm still gonna give you a Christmas gift, but I'm gonna get you those nice slippers that you like. I'm gonna get you those really nice slippers in two different colors
Okay. Okay.
that you'll then regift.
All right. All right. So we got from now, we got
I
about
have
a
the
week,
hiccups.
a little less than a week before Christmas.
Yep.
So I'm gonna stop walking into the OR having conversations that start like, how do you handle lying to your children about
Oh
Santa?
no, Leslie. Oh no, Leslie. No.
And I'm like, do you tell your children that is
They're gonna put
Santa
pepper
and
sauce on
like
your.
how?
Don't. They're gonna put pepper sauce on your lunch.
All
Don't
right, I'm
do
gonna
it.
stop doing that. I'm gonna
Oh my gosh.
zip it.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thank, thank you,
Merry Christmas.
Jesus. Thank you. Yes, please. Let's
Yeah.
stop that
All
right
right.
now.
All right. I'm glad we continue talking about it.
Okay. Me too.
This has been another episode of
Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn with Scrooge
Right, right.
and what? Pollyanna. I'm Pollyanna.
All right.
Bye, guys. Have a happy holidays.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Hanukkah's over, but I
All
hope
the
you enjoyed
things.
it.